Well,
it's sitting in a cardboard box in my room, and I've not yet shipped it back to Amazon because it came 2 days late.
yeah.
So I actually ended up getting my Xbox One X from GameStop. I went by the store that night, the night of release, and they had a Scorpio edition copy. So I was able to pick it up, actually.
The actual Scorpio edition.
The actual Scorpio edition, yes.
Yeah.
So Amazon kind of let me down that way. I love Amazon, don't get me wrong, but it kind of let me down that way. Welcome. I messed up there. Welcome, everybody, to the XoneBros. This is your positive gaming and Xbox One community. Thank you so much for joining us. This is podcast number 186. As always, I am joined by the bros, the XoneBros. First and foremost, it's Mr. McSpicy, Mark Haywood.
Hello there.
Yes, he's our technician. He's our producer. He makes all of the cool graphics that you see, including, for those of you in Mixer, our sweet new emoticon.
Yeah.
Go ahead and check out the sweet new emoticon for everybody in Mixer. Brought to you by Mr. McSpicy. Jordan Paskett. Jordan Paskett is here. What's up, Jordan?
Nothing.
I like that shirt. That's an E3 shirt.
That is.
What is the game there?
It's the Xbox Ambassador.
Oh, the Xbox
It says
Ambassador.
Xbox right here on my
I believe we got
shoulder.
that from the man, the one and only Dark Knight. There we go. There it is, baby. Last but not least, I am X1. We are the XoneBros. The Xbox One X is here. It is upon us. How did you spend your day, Mr. McSpicy? First thing you did with the Xbox One X.
I smelled it.
You smelled it.
You
did.
You did, actually.
I can.
yeah.
You were there.
witness
I witnessed
that, yeah.
it.
I don't know what it is about new electronics, but you want up? You want up?
New-
want your
Oh, maybe just there. Yeah.
this up?
There
Okay,
we go,
there we go. Quick audio check, guys. My bad.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about new electronics, but they have this smell,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's like a drug to me.
Mm.
It just smells so good. It's just like, the smell of victory. You know? Do you know the electronic smell? Do you guys smell it?
I know what you mean.
Yeah. I also like the smell of gasoline. I don't know why.
I do
Who
too,
doesn't?
actually, when
Or
I fill up.
paint.
Yeah.
Or paint,
Paint's
Or
a
glue.
good time.
anything that gets you high.
Or your-
Sharpies.
Or your own flavor. That's disgusting.
No, yeah. I smelled mine. Then
your
quickly,
electronics.
then quickly touched
Jordan,
it.
first thing you did with your Xbox One X.
I
go.
caressed it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not done. I
Oh,
caressed
sorry,
it.
sorry,
And then I felt the ridges.
Oh, the ridges are nice.
Yeah, the ridges are very nice. Then I inserted the little.
Can you turn me back down? Just on my monitoring. Sorry.
Okay.
There we go.
Are you
Yeah,
picky?
I'm
you
good.
you
Sorry.
diva?
It was just off. I don't know why it's off.
It's just a sexy machine.
It really is.
And I just wanted to absorb it.
It really is. Absolutely.
All right, Jordan, your turn. Sorry to take it away.
Hey, Jordan, what did you do? First thing that you did.
First
with the
thing,
Xbox One
I
X.
was surprised on actually how heavy it was. Everybody says it's a lot heavier than you think, and it's got some weight to it.
Mm.
You can bludgeon someone with it. I mean, it's
Yeah, I appreciate
got
that.
power. No, I do too.
I
like
appreciate that.
And then the second thing I did was I put it next to my 1S because I wanted to see the size comparison. It's not much smaller, but it is smaller.
Not much, but it is.
Yeah, you can definitely tell it's small. It's thinner. Is
Okay.
the best way.
Yeah.
It lost some weight,
Yeah.
if you will, between
Between
consoles. But yeah,
laps.
and then I without hooking it up, I just slid it softly right into my entertainment center.
Oh, nice.
And
Nice
it is
and slow.
perfectly. So I know the fans are on the side this time. It's perfectly even in the middle. It's 2 inches from each wall.
Oh,
I mean,
nice.
It's perfectly centered.
to manage your heat.
Yeah,
there.
to manage the
Did you
heat.
get a tape measure or did you eyeball that thing?
I eyeballed it and I was off by a little bit, so then I got the tape measure.
Did you really?
Well, no, I did have a tape measure because I
That's
wanted
so
it to
good.
be perfect.
Yeah.
Because it comes out the side now, not the back.
First thing I did was
Or the
disconnect
top,
my
sorry.
old Xbox, and then I had to rewire because everything's taped up under my desk.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
your
let me tell
cable
you.
management.
Once my One X is there, it's in place, it's not moving. Cody Palmer writes in on Facebook and asks, he wants to know, does the One X live up to the hype? And is there a clear difference between the 1S and the 1X? He has a 1S with 4K TV and the graphics look great.
Mhm.
With the amazing hardware the 1X totes, have loading times decreased when loading into games online and just playing in game. Is there a major difference, Jordan? You have the 1S.
Uh-huh.
Major upgrade, enough upgrade to justify the
for
purchase of the Xbox
me,
One
I
X.
think I don't. I mean, would you call it a major up? I mean, look, I think I think it's a fantastic. What did I say before the show? I didn't realize how blurry 1080p was.
Yeah,
Until,
it's
you know,
true.
like, and you don't. I mean, it of course it's still great, and 1080p is good. But after going to 4K on some of these games, and then seeing the direct side by side comparison, it really is. I mean, it's just so much more.
Well,
crisp.
beyond that, I will say something.
Yeah.
So I had a chance to play. We played Battlefront 2 last
that's a
night.
good-looking
We're
game.
gonna actually play it after the show here live on stream. So everybody come join us. But I have even just the super sampling. The upgraded resolution and super sampling from 1080 versus watching people stream it today. I was like, theirs doesn't look as good, and it's that it really is on some games. Forza 7 is another instance where it really is that big of a difference. It's enough of a difference. I now have a high quality game. I have a high end gaming PC basically that I'm playing on. McSpicy, is it worth the hype? Is it worth the upgrade in your opinion? The Xbox One X.
So for me, it's a jaw-dropping experience.
I mean,
seriously.
because you've got the 4K and HDR.
Tell them what you said to me before the show.
Oh,
I thought
what did I tell you?
about your 1080.
1080. Let's
Yeah,
Oh,
I tell you,
okay.
that's a comment.
But that's
man.
that's gonna make some waves.
shockwaves
Hey,
through the
that's all right,
universes.
So, okay,
It's
so I have a
direct-
GTX 1080. I have a really decent gaming rig for quote unquote work.
Yeah,
You know.
Yeah.
So,
Of course.
I was just comparing my GTX 1080 to my PC rig to this, and I'll be honest, I kind of prefer my Xbox X. I
Yeah?
really do, and I have the rig for my PC, but one of the reasons it's such a I don't know. It's kind of a hassle on my PC rig to set up the HDR. The HDR is really, for me, I don't know if there's easier demos or easier setups than I have. But setting up that HDR on Windows, I have Windows 10 on my PC. It's kind of a nightmare. And I can never get it to work. And when I get some HDR to work, there's like grays on my desktop, and it's just weird. There's games that don't have HDR. Well, there's a lot of games that don't. There's very few that do. The Scorpio, I'm just gonna call it Scorpio because that's what I have. The Xbox One X, it is plug and play HDR, and I'm telling you, when I was playing Star Wars last night, I'm running through the jungle. That's funny. I'm running through the jungle, and I'm just like, I just stop and look up into the trees, and it is jaw-dropping. The colors, the sharpness, the detail in the leaves, it blows my mind.
I think on the jungle levels you can really tell because you can see all the leaves, like you said. Every
leaf,
it's really
the
crazy.
detail in the leaves, the colors are how they're different, and I was telling. So what I was telling Jordan is I would not give up my GTX 1080 because I really love that card. I love being able to max out every game and seeing the full potential of games on my PC. But they definitely. What were you saying? Those two.
We were saying they're almost because it's the Xbox it's not as good as the 1080, right? We know that, right?
For sure, yeah.
But they're in the same house.
They're
you know what I mean?
roommates.
They're roommates as well.
They're
You know what I mean?
totally
Like
roommates,
they're close. You know, it's just.
The thing with the GTX 1080 is you need a lot. I mean, that card alone costs more than the whole unit.
$600 or something.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, it's pricey. So, but I mean, they deserve to be friends.
Yeah, no, I think they are.
Yeah, but I mean, and then in Assassin's Creed, just I'm hunting and then seeing the rays of light come through the trees, and that's where it pops is when there's light and colors.
Do you want to know a fun fact about Assassin's Creed on the One X? Because of the extra RAM in the box, transitioning from Senu to
oh yeah,
Gaiac,
I noticed
it's instant. It's almost instantaneous. Well, it pretty much is instantaneous.
Well,
I mean, it's
so I can go further now. So in Assassin's Creed,
well, it's just that switch is so much
Yeah.
faster now because of more RAM. And
for those of you that haven't played Assassin's Creed, there's an eagle, your eagle friend that helps you hunt and helps you kill, and he's just your
Senu. Right?
he's just your pal. He's just your friend.
How does Bayek say it? Senu.
Your guardian eagle.
Yeah, your guardian eagle.
So at any point in time in the game, you can fly him up in the air, and you can seriously fly him anywhere, and you're basically in two places at once. On my old Xbox, when I would fly up to Senu, if I went beyond like 30 feet from the main character of the game, then there would be a slight loading screen. That is extended. It still comes when you're like 300 yards away now or further. But that has definitely, I've noticed I can go way further and go back to my character with no loading screen.
Yeah.
So I noticed that
A
right
lot
off
more
the bat.
can happen on screen because of that extra power.
You brought up
Loading screen times.
Loading screen times.
Yeah, Cody Palmer wants to know: is it a huge difference with loading screens in both multiplayer and single player, or is it only single player that those loading times are increased?
So I'm gonna go by the all inclusive Grand Theft Auto mark. You know, like that's like the terrible loading times when you're trying to get on a
That's
game.
the bad example.
That's the bad example. So this is coming from Toast 16 ounce in our community.
Sure.
He told me it used to take him 100 seconds to load into a GTA game, and he plays GTA quite a bit.
Sure.
Now it takes him 24 seconds.
Boom. That's big.
So whether that, I mean, that's
It's
only
a 40
one
second difference.
That's like 80 or 70 seconds difference. 100 seconds.
What, a minute and a half? Did you say?
I said 100 seconds and then 24 seconds. So that's like that's one data point. So you can take that as you will. And it's possible he's Scottish, so he might be exaggerating. But
No,
but there's definite speed increases.
I have seen that around the discussion of Grand Theft Auto that is indeed the case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I cannot tell you how blown away I am by the visuals, and you cannot the hard thing about this, everybody, is you cannot see the visuals without. I mean, you can see an increase in textures
Fidelity
and rendering
like that,
fidelity, but if you have a friend that has a 4K HDR TV, bring your if you have a Scorpio, bring it over, because it is a jaw-dropping experience.
Well, I hate to say this, but I'm becoming a snob.
I know,
I get
right?
it. You know, like, why is this not in 4K? Like,
This is unacceptable.
Yeah.
This is absolutely unacceptable.
Yeah, like I get it.
And the HDR is, I mean, the 4K just makes everything so sharp.
Yeah.
And just you can see everything. It's the HDR
that really
just
pops the
just
color.
makes it gorgeous.
So I'm gonna speak to people now about my experience with the Xbox, because both these guys, the Xbox One X, both Jordan and McSpicy, they have the Xbox One X combined with a 4K television and HDR.
Yeah.
I do not. I'm playing on the same gaming monitor that
1080p.
I played on, 1080p, nothing special, and I can say it is a sizable enough difference that I think it is worth the price. Number one, first thing I noticed out of the box, the menu, never a stutter at all. It's so smooth
fast.
and fast. Loading times are increased. Number two, the first game that I wanted to fire up was Forza Motorsport 7, and the detail on the track alone changes the way I look at that game. In fact, when I go back in and watch people play it on just the normal Xbox One, it's like when you go to DVD, you've been watching it so long, and you don't remember what VHS is like, and then you go back and it looks like crap.
Yeah,
That's how
you
it
can
is.
do that today with
and
DVD.
It's just because, and it's not that big of a difference, but it's just because there is so much more detail, even without the 4K. The resolutions and the more detail that they can cram in there on 1080p is phenomenal. It changes the immersion of the game. I'm just super impressed.
It's that
thoroughly
super
impressed.
sampling, man.
So I do think if you're on the fence, if you're thinking about getting one, I do think it is worth it to get one. Absolutely. There's no question in my mind about that. Sergio Alondra writes in.
I got to add
Yes.
one of the other benefits. I noticed this right when I plugged it in and turned it on. The thing doesn't make a sound.
No sound.
It is complete. I have it right next to me when I play it.
The only sound I heard, and I had to listen for it because I was curious as well. Because the 1S is really quiet.
Yeah,
you can hear air being pushed. Like, it's not like you can just hear the
I can feel
the
air. I can't. I can't. I must be going.
But I was really listening to it
Yeah.
for it. Right? You can
How
kind
did
of
they do that?
You can just hear like.
Yeah. How did
you
they
know.
make that machine make no sound? I don't know how they. I'm sure there's
The silent
documentary.
room. The silent room.
I know.
They use the
But
silent
like, and wizards.
And wizards.
Wizards.
It's Harry Potter silence spell.
Yeah. Oh man. Anyways,
Speaking of which, did you see the Harry Potter studio? The studio focused on creating Harry Potter games dropped this week. I forget their names.
Dude, I hope they make because I could play a good Harry Potter game.
A Harry Potter RPG, like serious Witcher-like RPG. I'm there.
a Witcher. I mean,
Yeah. War-torn world.
War- yeah,
World,
post-
prostitutes.
like pre-Harry Potter, when Harry Potter's parents are fighting Voldemort, and like Voldemort's at the height of his crime, and you play some no-name badass detective wizard character. That's who I want to be.
I wish that would be the case. It's not going to be like that.
Dude, it would be
That
so
would be
cool.
so cool, like a rated M Harry Potter game.
It'd be so cool. Grand Theft Auto meets Harry Potter.
Does Warner Brothers still own it? WB Games?
I don't know. I don't know who the
And
game
they just,
studio
like-
is, but
That's
man.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your question? I interrupted you. Sorry.
Before I get to the next question, I want to talk about Destiny clans. So Destiny, everybody that's still into Destiny's still really popular. There's a lot of news regarding Destiny this week that came out. Destiny clan raids, they run for our clans, the XoneBros clans, Clan 1 and Clan 2. They run every Wednesday and Saturday night. If you want to raid, come join us. Come join us in Discord. That's how you find out about the clans. If you go to our website and hit the Discord button, you'll receive an invite. Discord is an amazing app. It's where everybody is. The community's there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Come join us over on Discord. It's a great time. Oh, I love Discord. Discord has literally changed my gaming life.
It's so good.
It really has.
Yeah.
It's just made communication so much better. Sergio Alondra writes in and wants to know, what games did you end up playing on the Xbox One X, and which one out of those surprised you the most? Love the show, guys. Keep up the amazing work. Thank you, Sergio. Mr. McSpicy, let's start with you. What game did you end up playing the most, and what's a game maybe that surprised you on the Xbox One X?
I'll be honest, everyone surprised me that I played. And I went to, what's really cool, Jordan showed me this trick, and I didn't know, and now I use it all the time. If you go into the games that you own, like in the game section of the Xbox, there's a tab that only shows Xbox One enhanced games that you own
and updates that are available for
and
them.
And
or
updates.
if an update is available for them.
So I was able to just see in my library what enhanced games I have, and I'll be honest, I'm a snob like you now, Jordan.
Yeah, I know it's hard not to be.
If it doesn't have enhanced, it's not going on in the box.
Yeah.
So a game that surprised me. I initially, because I was already playing Assassin's Creed, I was like, wow. This hunting's amazing. The leaves, the bushes, the light through the trees, just everything about that was great. I would say now that's the least impressive of what I've seen. Tomb Raider is crazy good looking. Crazy good look. I pulled that game up. Another one Toast told me to do. And I know a lot of the news stories were saying that Tomb Raider is the game that you should try.
Dude, it's
It is. I thought Lara Croft was hot before. Holy cow, she is smoking hot in 4K. But I'll be honest, the biggest surprise I had was Star Wars Battlefront 2 that we played last night.
Sure.
The trees. I can't tell you. I'm just like, I have Yoda kicking someone's butt over there. I have all these soldiers being blown across the map, and I'm just stopping. And I'm like Bastion in Overwatch, just looking at the birds.
Yeah. Makes you excited.
Which you can't kill.
It makes you excited to play the campaign because it's a very cinematic.
Well, that's just
campaign,
Frostbite, and even that Frostbite engine. And when we did the beta in Battlefront, it was beautiful from the get go. So just having the added fidelity really makes that pop that much more.
Yeah. And I'm not over. I don't feel like I'm over exaggerating how good this looks.
No, it was really nice.
It's so pretty, and it's plug and play. I don't have to figure out any data files or anything to get this to run right.
So I want to bring up a point that a valid point I think that Ghastly Magician brings up in chat. He says none of these things, all the games he has an Xbox One S. None of the games has all the same games, and none of those are bad on the One S. So he doesn't personally see the point in jumping into the Xbox One X. Yeah, and I think that's a valid point. I don't think and I know Ghastly Magician's not saying this, but in case any of the listeners out here listening to us are thinking, oh, they're just fanboys, they're trying to push it, they think they're so much better. No, it's not. We don't want to become PC Master Race. Absolutely not. I think the question is it worth it to get one if you're looking to get one? And our answer is yes. If you're looking to get the next model, the next iPhone model, right, the next Xbox model, then yes, I do think it is worth it. However, there is nothing wrong with staying at the Xbox One S. It's still a fantastic machine. It looks gorgeous.
Think of it like you went and bought a new video card for your computer. I mean, that's essentially what we're doing.
You're
just upgrading to that better fidelity.
Yeah, and that's what I love about what Xbox has done. PlayStation has done it too with their lineup as well. But just giving us options for everyone's tastes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think that's perfect, and that's what's so nice. But no, great point. I wanted to make sure that we addressed that because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who feel similar to that or are wondering, well, right now these guys are just about the Xbox One X. No, we're just I just think it is worth it if you're already looking to get it.
I'm keeping my old Xbox.
Sure, no, mine's in the living room.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna be playing on that a lot too. So It's just when I just want to be
So
blown away.
what game? So you played a lot of Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Was there any game that you didn't think would look as good as it did, or maybe a game that you thought would look better?
Well, here's the deal. Like, I was so blown away by Assassin's Creed, but then I go and look at these other games, and then I go back to Assassin's Creed, and I'm like,
Wow,
yeah,
still good.
It's still good.
This game again?
Yeah.
What's the best looking game you've played with the upgrade to the Xbox One?
No, I would say Star Wars.
Yeah,
I would say
agree.
Star Wars.
Even versus Tomb Raider, because Tomb Raider is very impressive.
Very, very impressive.
Yeah, I don't. But they're so. I don't know. There's the one's Michael Bay, and one's more.
So all
thriller.
things being equal, I mean, this is
I don't
Mr.
know.
McSpicy. So all things being equal, he's going Star Wars every time.
Well, yeah, I'm completely biased. I really like Star Wars, but no, it's just I don't know. I'm just in a place right now where it's just feels good to see pretty things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And so I'm still trying to absorb it. Maybe I'll play more Tomb Raider, and by next week I'll be like, oh yeah, it was that game
Yeah,
for sure. Because
yeah.
I mean I didn't play very far into Tomb Raider, just enough to go, whoa, she's hot.
yeah.
And then looking at the views, like because Tomb Raider is basically a climbing and falling simulator for half the game, and it's just real pretty. It's a pretty game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Jordan, how about you? What
So,
game did you end up playing?
There was actually one that super surprised me.
Really?
It doesn't even have its update yet, but I'll talk about that one in
Okay,
just a minute.
okay. Tease.
So,
That's a tease.
Tease, yeah. So Tomb Raider was a huge one, and Mark, you said you didn't get a chance to play with the graphics settings.
Oh yeah, I
so
did.
there's 3 modes. I think you
Can
default
I-
to high fidelity.
Can
mode.
I interrupt you real
Yeah.
quick and tell Jordan's story? So Jordan,
Yeah.
when we were streaming,
I'm all about the settings now.
so Assassin's Creed. This is
my criticism.
This is a good criticism.
Yeah.
So you can edit this is like one of the first times in a console you can edit graphical settings.
Yeah.
Sure.
Jordan went into the HDR settings in Assassin's Creed and screwed
And
them up.
I was just doing it for science. I'm like, okay, well, I've never really played with HDR settings before. What if I boost it? It's like when you play with the brightness
Yeah.
and the contrast. You know what I mean? It's just I was doing it for science, right?
And now it looks.
And then I'm like, oh, okay.
now there's gray rainbows in
Yeah.
the skies. And
I go to hit the default button to default it because I'm done experimenting. There's no default.
There's no
button.
default.
I had to play Assassin's Creed for like 5 hours with weird,
psychedelic
yeah.
colors.
and I was trying to fix it, but I had Mark
So I went into my settings and
gave
told him
me
what
his
to-
defaults,
yeah.
and I put it back, and that game is amazing looking.
Yeah. Anyway, so sorry to interrupt you. That was
so
hilarious.
Forza, I did boot up Forza, and that game is really fun. But Tomb Raider, that I thought going into Tomb Raider, I would want to be on high fidelity mode, and I was like, wow, this is really good. And then I switched to the 4K mode, and I was like, wow, this is sharp,
Yeah.
right? And then I switched to the high frame rate mode, which still looks really good, but it just prioritizes frame
Right
rate.
over anything. Yeah.
And I'll tell you, man, having the high frames is ridiculous.
You are becoming a snob.
Yeah, it's the high frame rate is still I am okay sacrificing a little resolution for that higher frame rate because
Yeah.
the high frame rate really made a difference in that game, especially. I know.
Interesting.
Now, speaking of high frame rates,
Yeah.
check this out. The Witcher is coming out with its patch, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I almost
I'm
don't want them
excited.
to.
Oh, really?
Because when they shipped the game, they shipped their game with unlocked frame rate. So on Xbox One, it runs at 30 frames per second, but it's unlocked, so it can hit 31 every once in a while or whatever, right?
Yeah. Okay.
The Xbox One X is a lot more powerful. You can get up to 60.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's not stable. Like it'll go up and then it'll come back down. But it was like I've loaded it up and I was like, because I saw this on the computer at work and I got home and I loaded it up and I was like, whoa!
It felt different.
Yeah. And then when they come out with the patch, it's gonna have higher fidelity and all that fun stuff, right? And the resolution. But when they come out with the patch, they're gonna lock it. They're gonna lock it at 30 because they're increasing all the other stuff and they need that frame rate to stay. But right now, if you were to jump in The Witcher pre-patch, in certain areas doing certain missions and stuff, you can get it up to 68. The high frames, I'm telling you, man,
It looks
high
like
frames.
it,
Yeah, it looks really cool, and I appreciate a developer shipping a game with an unlocked frame rate.
Unlocked frame rate on a console.
Because that was really cool. Yeah. So that's actually one of our news stories of the day. So check out The Witcher
Boom.
pre-patch if you have the One X. There is an unlocked frame. Now, it won't stay consistent 60. It'll drop and stuff, but it's higher than 30, and it's really cool to play in a higher frame rate
Yeah.
on that game. So that's the one that surprised me the most because I didn't know that, and I was like, ooh, wow, cool.
So
I gotta pull that game up now too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
When does the patch hit? Do we know?
I don't know. Just don't download it.
I am with Mr. McSpicy. The one that surprised me. I mean, not the one that surprised me the most, but the one that I was most impressed with is Battlefront 2. I had played the beta, and I enjoyed it last night. Keep in mind, I don't have 4K or HDR like these guys yet, so this is. I think I'm probably representative of 60% of people now.
Yeah.
Most people probably don't yet have a 4K. But I was super impressed. The DICE engine or the Frostbite engine already did a fantastic job. Where I really noticed it was playing last night and then going back and watching others play it today, not on the Xbox One X. It's not as good. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like what Jordan said. It's the textures are blurry. They're just not as sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't think that makes that huge of a difference, but it really does. And that game really impressed me. And Forza again, I'm just loving Forza. Oh my goodness. You know how I feel about Forza. My love affair with Forza.
He is now a Forza snob. He turns off all his settings, all the helpers.
They're all off.
You're like.
Let me tell you though, there are times where I want to punch my screen.
Well, because sometimes it's just unlucky. When somebody just demolishes your car, it's so unlucky.
Or here's what kills me. The other day I was driving an Audi. These were like the sports racers or sports luxury cars. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Sports luxury, and it was an Audi. And chat was explaining to me that the Audi, and it's a little bit harder to control, but the Audi, the engine it's in the very front, in front of the tires even. And ready for this? When you barely tap someone, because that engine's there, this is how detailed Forza is. When you barely tap someone, my engine's shot. Because that engine's moved more forward. Anyways, and stuff like that is really frustrating, especially when you don't have rewind on, and then you just got to limp through the rest of the map because you're almost done.
I don't think I could ever get rid of rewind. It's that comfort blanket.
Oh, I do believe it makes you a better player, though. I really do. Hands down, 110% believe that makes you a better player.
Snob.
It's not snobby. Not at all. We have a community play. We have community plays the first and third Saturday of every month. We did Forza Horizon, not Forza Horizon.
Forza 7.
Forza Motorsport 7 this last Saturday. Mr. McSpicy, how was it?
It was good. I'm terrible. I used to be good. I'm no longer good.
So much fun.
Yeah. Well, that's what I meant to say. I just go right to me sucking.
Yeah, no. But even sucking, it's so much fun.
It really is. That's a fun game.
We turned on damage, and that's when that's when the fun takes off.
Well, because we were playing a couple races without that, but you turn that on, and then I guarantee everyone that was playing had their tongue sticked out like this, that they're thinking face. Yeah, 'cause their eyebrows go down, and they zoned in. Because when you put on damage in that game, if you just get bumped, unless you're the trucks that we've raced, because that was awesome. I could run everyone over.
Oh, the trucks are awesome.
But if
they can take a beating.
If you it's just so like you are so focused on not touching it. You pull back, get defensive, you get aggressive, but only when no one's around you. It's a simulator, man, and it was really, really fun. I think everybody should come check out it when we do that one again. If you're into Forza, just try it.
Jump in.
Yeah.
Super fun. Community plays first and third Saturday of every month. That was our community play. Such a good time it was this last Saturday. Our next community play will be Saturday, November 18th, and we'll be jumping back in to some Battlefield 1. So if you like Battlefield 1, if you own Battlefield 1, come join us. 12 Eastern, noon Eastern is when it begins. Saturday, November 18th. Our next community play. It's the third Saturday of the month that time. Rustin Jones wanted to know how much your emergency room visit was from your face being melted off by the Xbox One X. I thought that was funny. But Eagle Eyes has a great question. Eagle Eyes asks, most people's biggest gripe with the X is that it launched without a killer app. Do you think, i.e. game, right?
Okay,
launched without a killer game.
Yeah.
Do you think a lack of exclusives will hurt the X going further? And on the flip side, are there advantages in its power it has outside of gaming?
Oh, that second question we may have to think about.
Yeah.
The first part of the question was what again?
Do you think a lack of exclusives will hurt the X going forward?
Shouldn't you want me to start?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say no. I would have said yes a week ago.
Interesting.
I'm going to say no now.
Owning the X has actually changed your perception on whether or not lack of exclusivity at this point hurts it.
Yeah, probably on paper it'll hurt at what, like 8.9%. I don't know the numbers. I'm not a guy
Sure.
that looks at logistics.
8.932.
Yeah, I don't know that. I just know I play it now, and it makes me smile because I have updated games that I can now look at, and games coming out, even though it's not exclusive. Star Wars Battlefront on an HDR console and TV is. I don't think I'm a snob. I don't think I need to play it on that now.
Yeah.
You know, there's some. And when Jordan first popped this open, he was like, "Oh, guys, I own the most powerful console in the universe."
Yeah.
And there, yeah, I mean that's a pride thing, but it's just there's something to say about that too,
Yeah.
you know. But back to the original question: will it hurt? Maybe if you're a bean counter,
Sure.
you know. But for me, I don't see it hurting because I'm getting games that look better than I played them before.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that, so I feel like it was worth it, and I would tell people try it out and look at it. Yeah,
And to that, Ronan did mention this in chat. Phil Spencer did come out and say, now that we've released the X, we are now focused on going and getting these IPs and exclusives that you need to make this the best gaming.
No, and
console.
I think
that's a smart strategy.
I think he said that in such a cool way. Phil Spencer just says things the right way.
In a way that connects.
Yeah, he said now he said now that the console is in order, or he said something to the effect of that. Now that it's in order, now our next objective is this. So the console's fixed from E3 2014. Now let's move on to the next thing.
Sure.
You know, and he said it in such a cool way. I respect that.
No,
guy.
I agree. Jordan, how about you? Do you think lack of exclusives hurt the Xbox One X going further?
Well, I mean, going further, no.
Okay.
I mean, I kind of agree with Mark. Last week, I would have been like, yeah, it would have been cool to have Crackdown release with it,
Sure.
or even pushing Forza back, right?
Forza back,
But
yeah.
honestly, now, like after seeing what it can do and actually having it and seeing it in person, not just through videos on YouTube and Digital Foundry and all that, like experiencing Assassin's Creed and Tomb Raider and Battlefront, that alone is worth it,
Well,
right?
and
none of those are exclusive.
And that's a great point that you bring up, actually. I think right now at release, it doesn't hurt it because we have all the Xbox enhanced titles. Not only that, but we're scheduled out with Xbox enhanced titles.
There's a huge
for instance,
list. Yeah.
We're waiting for Witcher 3 is the one that we're waiting for.
Yeah.
You know, December 15th is Destiny. We're going to be waiting for that. So we're waiting for these upgrades, Xbox One X enhanced games. So those will be like extra publicity points. They're not exclusives, but it's that version of that game is exclusive. If you want it in 4K HDR with the best resolutions, the best everything, you're going to be playing it on the Xbox One X. So I think we're not in need of an exclusive right now because of that. You're able to play these games as Xbox One X enhanced.
It is releasing during a hot season, you know. I mean, you got Call of Duty that kind of not released alongside it, but around the area, you got Battlefront, which is Monday. Now, if you have EA access, right? I mean,
yeah,
it's the hot season, man.
It's the hot season. It's the hot stuff. Second part of that question, I really want to dive into: are there advantages its power has outside of gaming? Eagle Eyes says, I think about these things constantly, especially now that I'm a cord cutter. Considering what the Xbox One was aiming to do at the beginning of this generation, the power of the X is a natural progression for those who use the console for most of their media consumption. The console, for me, and I'm sure for many others, provides way more utility than just gaming. It's the most important piece of my entertainment center. I think that's a really good point. And now that you've got Netflix in 4K, you just...
So I'll go. I think I should touch on this. So I have this TCL TV, the 4K HDR TV that I play my games on right now. It has Roku built into it, and it has Netflix 4K HDR shows on that built in. So that's plug and play too. So there are devices out there other than this where you can get your cord cutting apps still that'll probably. I mean, it's hard to beat the S for 4K HDR, but like this is built in. I would say, and I've said this in a show before, a couple of weeks ago, where you're going to see actual movies and TV shows shine is the 4K. It's not going to be the HDR, and that's just because of the limitations of cameras. Yeah, I would say you could get that benefit from animations like Pixar, stuff like that. They can build that into it, but outside of that, 4K is where the strength is for your standard movie or TV show, and just because cameras have a limit of like 6 to 10 stops of light, it can't do a full spectrum to 20 stops of light kind of a thing.
That gaming can do.
That gaming can do that. They can
animation.
program it in,
Yeah.
or animation or anything like that. So I would say definitely the Xbox Scorpio or Xbox One X strength is video games.
Sure.
But it can also do those. Just there are other places you can get those as well.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That makes total sense.
Yeah. So
Great question, though, and I think that
I hope I didn't sound like I've been told by people stop sounding like a snob because you say does that make sense? And I don't mean it in a snobbery way. I am really
is that Mrs. McSpicy?
Yeah, I'm super self-conscious on how I explain things, and I want to make sure that I'm explaining things correctly. So don't take that in the wrong way.
Yeah, I think Drillbit and DMAX in chat have some great points. Drillbit says right now I think that the X, as far as the market / exclusives is concerned, has people kind of, I don't know. However, he does think that the Xbox One X is going to be a top holiday contender regardless. And Dark Max says some are just not buying into the X as being an Xbox One replacement, so they're harping on exclusives. And he thinks they better be coming with exclusives soon. Having said that, it didn't sway him to not buy the X. He did buy the X. And I agree. I mean, eventually, obviously, I think Phil Spencer's right. Now let's put all our focus, time, and energy into getting these exclusives. This next E3, I'm sure they have to. Can you imagine if they come in and it's like, no exclusives? That would be...
Oh, yeah.
They just can't. Like, they have to. So, but for right now, I think this holiday season, I really don't think it ultimately matters. I think you're seeing the success, the hype there, because... they're kind of first in. They got first mover advantage. They're the first ones able to bring you true 4K HDR to your gaming system. And there's value in that.
Yeah.
Outside of having an exclusive or brand new big exclusive game.
Yeah. Agreed.
Anyways, great questions, guys. That brings us. I just wanted to get the Xbox One X talk out of the way. It's what everybody's tuning in for. That brings us to the next part of our show. The news. The news is brought to you by Patreon. If you'd like to support the show, please head over to patreon.com/positive gaming and donate to the show. $1 a month. For $1 a month, you can support the show.
Sorry, I'm looking at chat.
You're like distracting me.
Yeah, okay, look at me and look.
Okay.
For
$1 a month, you can support the show. If everybody that listened to the show pledged $1 a month over on Patreon, we could do this full time. That's our goal, to bring this community together, to facilitate a positive gaming community, and to do this full time. Mm-hmm. Anyways, go support us, and thank you to everybody who has. Jordan,
yes,
what is happening in the world that is Xbox One this week?
So, I mean, the biggest news story is that the new Xbox is out, right?
Boom.
And that kind of overshadowed everything. But I do got a couple favorites for you. So the one, which we already talked about, is The Witcher, right? The cool little 60 frames, which I did not mention. And I actually do think a few people mentioned in chat, and it's actually a very important detail. You do have to have the disc to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because when you have it digitally, it automatically keeps it up to date because of the check-in. So if you're like me, I went to Redbox and rented Call of Duty, and I actually went to Redbox to rent The Witcher on the disc, and then I saw Call of Duty and I rented that as well. But yeah, just do it there if you want to see it. I was well worth my $2. And it was a cool patch. But with this patch, I mean, fear not, the frames are awesome, and I kind of wish you could have the choice to keep them, but that's okay. With the Witcher patch that's coming, we're getting the boost to 4K.
Okay,
which is awesome.
Which everybody wants, yes.
You're getting the visual tweaks, higher quality shadows, ambient occlusion, texture fill it.
Ambient
occlusion.
I don't even know what that means.
Dude, all I know is whenever someone announces a game engine, it always has that in there. So it's really important.
Ambient. Was that like
ambient occlusion? I don't know what it means either.
Ambient, because ambience.
All I know is if you don't have it, you're not cool.
You don't have ambiance.
Yeah.
No ambiance.
Texture filtering, as well as a lot higher resolution texture. So I mean, it's a really good boost, I think. Pre-patch, post-patch, whether you have the disc and want to keep those frames for a while, or just go ahead and patch it. But very cool. I'm excited for it.
Boom.
Right?
Very excited. That is
big
exciting.
one. Let's jump into EA. They've
this
a lot
is
of
big
splash
news this week.
EA has officially acquired, I guess if you want to say it,
Respawn
Entertainment. They bought them.
$455 million they purchased. Now this raised a lot of flags on the internet when this happened this week. A lot of people said, "Whoa, wait! You just closed Visceral Studios. Is EA going to buy Respawn and close it? What's going on?" They're not going to buy a company for $455 million just to close it.
What happened? What happened is one of the Respawn employees flipped off the EA CEO, and he's like, "Oh, you know what?
That's it. That's it. You pissed me off.
Okay, I'm
Well-
going to spend $500 million
And so they
and fire your butt."
they've done lots of interviews. Respawn is super happy and excited for this. Why would they not
Yeah.
be?
Well, and obviously Respawn works very closely with EA. EA has been
Sure.
their publisher for their past 2 games, which is Titanfall 1 and 2. They did basically confirm that they are making another game in the Titanfall universe,
Yes.
which is, Titanfall 3
Yep.
expected to be, right?
Yeah.
They're also making a game in the Star Wars universe,
Wars
which
game.
I'm very excited for, and I think they're making a game in the VR area, yeah.
A non-Star Wars, non-Titanfall virtual reality
Reality
game
game.
for the Oculus
Now,
Rift.
what's cool is Vince Stampelli, the CEO, he said, quote, "This brings resources and support," which, I mean, when you have a big money maker like EA or Activision, I mean, it's always good to have money.
It's great to have money.
Yeah, you know? He also said, quote, "There will be no layoffs or major organization changes," end quote. I think EA just wanted the studio under their belt, So, I mean,
Yeah.
and
Why
who
not?
could say no
It's
to
another arrow.
$455 million? And if you're interested, which I found this very fascinating, EA is paying $151 million upfront, and then $164 million in long-term equity paid out over the next 4 years.
Wow.
So if you like the gritty details of the
The
of the business,
nitty-gritty.
yeah. So-
EA, if you're looking to buy a podcast, we're for sale.
Well, can you imagine? Like I've
We'll do half that.
Yeah, I'll
200
have that.
million.
I'll do that. 200
I've-
million spread out over 10 years. I'm fine.
right? 10 years of fun. Well, when I bought my car, I remember the negotiation. You're like, okay, I'll put 5,000 down.
Oh, let's
You know
see what they
All
do.
right, yeah, let's I'll go in with that. Let's lowball them.
You think that?
Can you
think that's
imagine
how it
this? Like
happens?
EA's just like, we'll put $1 million down. Like it's just like, can you those numbers?
Vince is
man,
in the room and he's like, "No, I'm gonna walk. I can
Yeah.
take this elsewhere. I'm walking."
EA goes,
I
okay,
want-
hold
I
on.
want 3 yachts, not 2.
Yeah, that's when. Okay, how about this? $150 million up front, another $2 million over a couple of years. These deals, man.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Are you done with that story?
Yeah.
My wife is in chat right now, Mrs. McSpicy. Did you see her message to you,
No,
David?
no.
She said, David, Taylor Swift is having a party right now.
Oh,
You're missing it
man.
because of the podcast. Just so everyone knows,
I
David
love Taylor Swift.
loves Taylor Swift.
I have a huge crush on Taylor Swift.
She's coming out with a new album. My wife wanted
Yes.
to tell you that
Yes.
in chat.
I actually kind of don't like her new songs.
Oh, well,
I don't like this sound. Bow, wow, 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 wow. I don't like that song. You throw that sound into a song, I'm not going to listen to your song.
I don't even know what that was. Was that dubstep? What was that?
It was
Just-
something.
It's like a Nicki Minaj-esque type of sound, and it just goes bow, wow, 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 wow. And I'm just like, okay, I can't listen to this anymore. I can't listen to
well,
this.
just mute it.
Granted, I've not heard the
So
whole
watch
album,
the music
but
videos.
the 1 or 2 songs that I have
This
heard,
is what
I don't
you
know if
do.
I'm a huge fan of.
I actually did this last week
Mhm,
on my stream, and it was for you, but I don't think you ever saw it.
Yeah.
I played a Taylor Swift video for the intro, muted it, and then I had I think Def Leppard
Oh,
over the top
very
of
nice.
it, or some
Very nice.
awesome
I like
80s
that.
rock song.
I like that. That gives me a good idea.
And it totally like messed with my head because it was the ballerina Taylor Swift one, and I was just like, "This is weird." It's just like some Twilight Zone-y, odd, bizarro world that I just created.
Oh, that's so funny.
Just like in Stranger Things, I was the one who created that.
there you go. Battlefront 2, The Last Jedi content.
Yes.
They've already come out and detailed it.
Yeah, so
What do
what
we
they're
got?
doing with Battlefront 2 is they're doing seasons because seasons are a great idea. They want to
Seasons are
jump
in.
on.
Seasons, loot boxes.
Yep.
They're all the same
Season
thing.
1,
They're hot
they're hot.
right now.
Season
Fat
1,
Hansel.
I actually really like the way they're doing their seasons. It's going to be a fun time. So Season 1 is called Season 1, The Last Jedi. The Last
Okay.
Jedi season, right?
It
Now, what
begins.
you do in a season is you choose a side. Now, in Season 1, we're going to choose a side, and so it's going to split the community, man. You're gonna fight for the First Order, or you're
Okay.
going to fight for the Resistance.
I think I'm doing Resistance.
I probably will do Resistance.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
not
I'm a-
gonna,
I think
now,
I'm
see,
a
if it was the
Resistance
Empire,
guy.
I'd fight for the Empire. I appreciate what they bring to the table.
Yeah.
I'm going Resistance here.
Yeah.
Your resistance?
I'm Resistance.
I'm gonna pick the Resistance over the First Order because the First Order
Unless-
they're new.
If you
I can't
think
trust
about
them.
it,
You know,
though,
I don't know.
They're just terrorists. Like, think about what's going on. Like,
In
if
this
you,
scenario, I'd rather be the terrorist.
if you're looking at the whole spectrum here, all these people. There's janitors, there's accountants that work
On
for
the
the
Death
New Order.
Star.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, like they
Death
are the
Planet.
Galactic Empire. You know, that is the
Well,
order.
no,
of,
they're the First Order.
oh, because it's
Yeah,
changed.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, and that's who you're. See, if it was
But
the
see-
Empire, I'd pick them.
no, well, but they just changed their name. It was just a brand
Yeah,
change.
but that's like, but that's.
Atheos Emma in chat says, I really like the cut of the Empire's jib.
It's
amen.
It was just a brand change. That's all that's happened. It was just like
But when
marketing
you have to
move.
brand change,
Comcast changed their name to Xfinity
Yeah.
or whatever. That's
Yeah.
all they did. No, they're now
Quest
the New
to
Order.
CenturyLink,
Do you know how
or
many
CenturyLink
people
Quest.
that form of government employs? And all these people, just these rebels run in and blow up
So
the accounting
it
department.
sounds like Mark's not going to be on our
Yeah,
team.
so I'd say he's going to be on the First Order.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Like they go in and just blow stuff up.
Now,
and-
now it's not going to split you or anything. You can still play with your friends, right? It's going to
Yeah.
be,
But it's your experience.
it's going to be
right?
similar to a For Honor, right? If
Okay,
you fight for
yeah.
the samurai, whatever faction you choose, as you compete, factions will earn points, blah blah blah, all that stuff up. And I assume they're going to do more of these. So like maybe next season will be the Clone Wars era,
Yeah.
right? So you'll pick the Separatists or the clones, right? I mean, I think it's
That's
a fun
cool.
idea. It's a fun idea. So
That's really cool.
that starts December 5th. You will choose a side, and then there will be every week in December. Just about you're going to have different weekly challenges, daily challenges that can help out your side and all that fun stuff, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry, reading chat.
The big ones though is on December 13th.
Yes.
We are gonna get
so funny.
A new
Sorry.
map.
I gotta say this. I'm pretty okay with blowing Comcast up. I mean, I guess that was a bad use. I chose the wrong brand.
Ryan Cage says that.
The Empire was just a misunderstood technical training
From
program.
Blog Central. Sorry.
That's
on
fine.
the
That's funny.
13th?
Chat is funny
On
right
the
now, but they're with me.
13th.
I got a lot of members
So
with
this
me.
is on week 2. This is all. It's laid out by weeks.
Yeah, it's planned out week 1, 2, 3, 4, 4
Yeah.
months or 4 weeks in a month, right?
in a season.
So on week 2, the 13th is really the biggest one. Every week, and every week you're gonna have your daily challenges, your weekly challenges, your different game modes and all that stuff, which is cool, right? But the big one is December 13th, which is gonna unlock a new map, which is Crate, I think how you spell it.
Yeah.
It's when they're spray painting red dust
Sure.
in the trailer.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
Star Wars,
Yeah.
I don't know why they do that. They're like the Red Angels or something.
Yeah.
When they're flying. But that's going to be
Oh,
that place
on the
is the new map.
on that scene where they're like on the
Yeah.
desert.
Yeah,
And-
and there's that one
I
guy who
think-
didn't get his pilot's license, and he's like dragging along the bottom.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
didn't get his pilot license. Maybe he got maybe there's a bee in his
Yeah,
cockpit,
that's what
and
he's
he's
like,
just like, "Oh shoot!" He's just going.
So that map, apparently that is called Crate. I think I pronounced it. I don't know. Who knows, right? But anyway, that'll be the new map. You'll have the new Starfighter Assault map, which is another name I can't pronounce. But you're gonna have 2 new maps: a Starfighter Assault
So
and then a Galactic Assault. And then the big one,
Okay, give me
2
the
new
big one.
heroes. You'll get Finn,
Okay.
cool guy,
He's
and you'll
cool
get
guy.
Captain Phasma.
Okay, very cool. Another
Those will
cool
be the 2
character.
new characters.
Very cool. So, give me the highlights of how a season. Give me the highlights of a season. Summarize this in one sentence.
Basically, what a season is: you choose a side and you complete faction challenges to help your faction.
And during the season, new
You'll
characters,
get new
released,
characters, new
etc.
maps, all that stuff.
Very cool. That's exciting. Let's talk about Battlefront because we all had a chance. Prior to this, we just jumped into the beta. Jordan and I.
Yeah.
Mr. McSpicy's now had a chance, and we've had a chance to play on different levels. With the 10-hour EA Access Pass, we've played different levels. We played different modes. Thoughts, first impressions. How is the game in your opinion, Jordan? Let's start with you. Can you recommend this game? Is it what you expect? Is it what you want?
Yes,
And what is? Give me some highlights of it for you then.
it's really great. So my 2 favorite. I really like this game. I'm excited to get into the campaign. Well, okay, there you go. You have a campaign this time around.
Yeah.
So the first Battlefront, I was like, I don't care if games don't have campaigns. If
Yeah.
they want to be all multiplayer, I appreciate that. That's fine, right? And then
Sure.
a game comes out with a campaign, you're like, oh, okay, it's cool, right?
Yeah.
But their campaign, you're stepping in the boots of an Empire soldier, right?
Very cool.
Which I appreciate because I like the Empire. I like the Empire better than the First Order. I think if the Empire and the First Order went to
Well,
war, the First Order would
you're
lose.
lucky that the marketing department wasn't on the Death Star
Yeah.
when it got blown
Yeah.
up because
Yeah.
that's the
No,
same thing.
I think the Empire, they're good bad guys. And you know what? Maybe they just want to bring order to the galaxy, right? And things got out of hand. I can the intention was, I like the Empire. And I think this is going to be cool because the character you're playing in the campaign, she sees the Empire as order. They're like they bring order to the galaxy. She sees the rebels as terrorists,
Yeah,
right?
no, I agree.
So I mean, it's really going to be cool because we've never seen it from that perspective.
So did you
before,
jump
right?
in and play some of the campaign?
I have not yet. I'm saving myself.
Okay, I have watched the campaign. It does look pretty good. It looks pretty fun. I mean, it looks like your standard Battlefield 1, just in the Battlefront Star Wars universe, which is a super fun time.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest there.
One other thing I loved.
Yes.
So there's the Clone Wars era. I hate the story. Right?
Okay.
I don't think it's very well fleshed out.
Yeah.
And it could have been told a lot better.
On paper, it looks good.
Yeah.
In reality, it didn't turn out so hot.
It could have been good if they did things a lot different.
Yeah, for sure.
But I love the Clone Wars era, like the history behind it, especially after watching the Clone Wars TV show.
Yeah.
So I love that they added the clones and the separatists. I one of my favorite eras. I love it. Every time I'm a clone, I just get excited.
Yeah.
Well, and then the Rocket Pack clone.
Oh yeah.
So that guy's crazy.
He doesn't mess around.
Now, how are the game modes? Because if people are just jumping into the Battlefront game for the first time, you're going to die, and you're going to die a lot.
Oh, you're gonna.
You've got to get used to these new game modes. Jordan, and then we'll jump to Mark. Jordan, what do you like about the new game modes?
So there's
What do you did not
the
like?
big
Is
game
there
mode,
criticism?
Galactic Assault, right? That's like your big game mode. It's 20 versus 20, which is 40 total. I like that.
Good math.
Right.
Well done.
Battlefield, I believe, is 60 something people total?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Sometimes there's just too many people.
Well, I like Battlefield, but I like cutting back
Just
to the
dialing it.
smaller.
yeah,
A little
dialing
bit.
back
I mean,
a
it still
little
feels like a massive war, which is great. But what I love about it is in Galactic Assault, most maps are different, right? Like in one map, we have to, on the first part, whether you're defending or attacking, right? We have to find rockets, get close to the machine, use the rockets, and then,
The
like,
mechanics.
I like the different, it's not, I mean, I guess it is just like capture and hold, but the way it's presented to you makes it feel different. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, for example, on the capture and hold sections, it's basically rush, but the way it's presented to you, you got to go in, you got to plant the bomb, you got to defend it for a while. Before it's just, I really, it keeps the game fresh. You know, halfway through the game, you're almost
Well,
playing 2 or 3 game modes in one game.
It's
mode,
kind
you
of
know?
the same thing, but it's just feels different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
still kind of
present it a lot better,
Yeah,
you know, which
yeah.
makes it feel varied.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Variety.
So much fun. I agree with you on that. I really like, and maybe Mr.
Can I?
Oh yeah, let's go to
Yeah.
you, Mr. McSpicy, before
I had no idea how awesome the dogfighting would be.
I was
in
just
this.
gonna say that. I really like
Holy cow!
the space battles.
The space battles. If you want to go into this, you can.
No,
I'll
go
let
ahead.
you.
Go ahead.
So what's that game mode called? Is it
Starfighter Assault.
Starfighter Assault? We have not had a good dogfighting game in a long time,
This is true.
and this does
Maybe
it.
Elite Dangerous. at
Elite
times.
Dangerous had that. It came later.
Yeah.
It came later, but that one's like a simulator dogfighter. But that's still really. I mean, that was pretty good. That was probably the last one that we had,
Mhm.
and that one wasn't as mainstream, I guess, so to speak. That there weren't a lot of people playing that mode.
Sure.
You know, things like that. This is really good dogfighting, and the fact that I'm dogfighting in a freaking X-wing just tickles my fancy.
Tickles it right up.
Oh, it feels so good. And you were having problems with the controls.
At first, yes. You just got to get used to it. I couldn't register, so I was treating it like a first-person shooter where you're simultaneously using these controls,
Yeah.
and you're simultaneously using them to a point. But really, you can just press acceleration, and then your right stick is all your maneuverability,
Yeah.
unless you
Barrel
want to
roll
like
on
barrel
your-
roll and
yeah.
stuff. But
More
that's really
precise.
just
Don't underestimate the power of the braking in a
Yeah,
dogfight.
because you can turn sharp.
You can turn
Oh yeah,
sharper.
no,
Yeah,
I
okay.
break all the time. But
Yeah.
but
Oh, okay.
but my problem is I was trying to barrel roll while turn, and that's where it screwed me up. I only barrel roll on defensive maneuvers.
Very good. Very good.
Yes.
I showed you guys at the beginning of the show before we started. I've been watching old
As
US
a result of this,
As a result of this, I've been going and watching old U.S. Air Force 1960s dogfighter videos, like training videos.
you're literally trying to become Maverick.
I really
I just
am.
watched Maverick.
Oh, that's.
Yeah.
But those are all tight shots, and then it's just you don't understand the tactics going on.
I hit the brakes and let them
Fly right by.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, the dogfighting in this is fantastic. It looks gorgeous. There's plenty of stuff to dodge. You feel like you are in a scene in Star Wars where there's a huge.
You know what it feels
just
like?
Everything's everywhere.
Opening scene of Revenge of the Sith, where it's just an
Yeah.
all-out space battle.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
It's really,
It's just an all-out space battle, and you still have abilities. What I got to work on is each ship has different abilities. and there's still objectives.
And each faction ships have different abilities.
You
too.
can be a fighter, you can be a bomber, and you can be some other one. I don't know, but the fighters protect the bombers. Things. It's super cool. It's super. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, ton of
I was
fun.
not expecting a flushed out good dogfighting game,
Yeah.
and that is my favorite game mode right now is the dogfighting.
Yeah, how did you like the standard Battlefront 2? Is this a step up from you for Battlefront 1 in the Battlefront series as it stands? Because you're a huge OG Battlefront guy. How does
What were you
this
gonna say?
I
how does
just
this stand up for you?
I wanted to ask you a question, basically along the same lines as David. Is last night there was a couple times when you got murdered by some of the heroes, and
The
they do
OP
feel a
of the
lot
heroes.
more
Do you
powerful.
like
I
how
thought you
that-
might like that,
Yes, although
and
they
they can regenerate their own health.
They can regenerate health with I think is a good move. I really like that move that they can regenerate health. They feel like they are an upgrade, not a down. Like when I played the other one, I felt like should I get Darth Vader? I don't want to die that fast.
Mhm.
Because with Darth Vader or with anybody, you become a huge target.
Yeah.
This you can regen health, so you can dive in and then dive out, regen health, dive in, and it feels strong.
Darth Maul is really good at that.
Yeah,
Getting
I
in
know.
there,
Dude.
getting out.
Getting smoked by Kylo Ren felt great.
Did he? Okay, I don't know if you guys died this way,
Sure.
but I haven't played as Kylo Ren yet. But he pulled
Oh, yeah.
me in and then sliced me.
Yeah.
Oh, so
I-
cool.
And
Well,
I
I
was
didn't
like,
I didn't get killed with a slice. I got pulled in. I'm like getting up from the ground, and then he stabbed me.
It's like
As you're getting
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, as I'm getting up.
when that happens, you're like, I'm not even mad. That was awesome. I feel honored that Kylo Ren decided to choose me to kill at that moment. No, so to answer your question, this is better.
This is better. in
This
your
is
opinion.
better.
They're back on track.
And we haven't even
They're
jumped into
where
the
they need to
campaign
be.
yet.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this game a lot.
Agree.
But I have not seen how they fix the upgrade system yet. I haven't dived into that.
Yeah, not yet. We're very surface level first impressions
Yeah.
playing. I mean, we're under 10 hours on it. Clearly, we're 2 hours in
Yeah,
on just strictly multiplayer. Not even played all the modes yet. I really enjoyed the flight, like you, Mr. McSpicy. I also really enjoy the way that they do the hero system this time around, and we talked about this when we played it in the beta mode. I enjoy that. For instance, in some Battlefields previously, and I know Battlefield's not Battlefront, but I'm using Battlefield as an example, you can be playing Conquest and people are not getting the objectives. They are just camping and getting kills. Battlefront rewards you for doing the objectives because only by doing the objectives
can you become Kylo Ren?
can you
Yeah.
become Kylo Ren. And not only that, I could have 20 kills, but the first place guy in our team only has 3 because he's doing the objectives. Like,
Yeah.
I think they've done a good job of that and rewarding you for
It's-
actually doing what you're supposed to be doing in this game mode.
It's a nice. It's like they took and amplified the system from Battlefield 1, because Battlefield 1, a lot of people were getting mad because they had a bunch of kills but no points, and it's because you need to play the objective.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
And this one, I think that's how they present it. They're kind of forcing you to play the objective, especially in Galactic Assault, because you have to go there to progress the map.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So at this point, first impressions, a buy, a must buy, just a buy. What do we say here?
I think it's a must buy.
Must buy
It's
for
a
you,
Star
Jordan?
Wars game. It feels polished. We were in the 10-hour trial,
on EA
which I
Access,
believe
yeah.
it's if you ordered the Ultimate Edition, it's live now. Like
You can
for
play it
You're-
right now
right now permanently, and you're done. If not, you still have the 10 hours. We didn't really have any networking issues. We had a couple games where it just took a while to load, so we quit and jumped back in, and it was
Well,
fine.
David
But
got-
nothing.
You got disconnected a couple times, didn't you?
I got
But-
disconnected twice, but I was able to jump right back in.
They went to their stuff guy and asked him, "Should we put in a join button?"
His name's Larry.
Yeah, and
Oh, no,
they
it's
put in
Lloyd.
that join
Yeah,
button.
well,
Yeah,
so ready for this? I can set up multiplayer matches in Battlefront. In Battlefield, I'm confused. I can't,
yeah.
and I'm not an idiot.
No more pressing Y. No more joining a squad and then
Yeah.
pressing Y to join a squad.
But in
which
Battlefront,
I-
it's simple. I invite my friends, and then whatever I jump into, guess who else it
Yeah.
invites? You
yeah,
guys.
and I get why Battlefield 1 does it. I just don't think it's needed.
Okay, I do have a criticism, and this might just be that we've not dived in enough, and maybe in other game modes this is a thing. They put you into squads. I feel like your squads are irrelevant at this point. Like Battlefield 1 really rewards you for having a good squad.
I do-
and really encourages that. This has a squad system, but doesn't I don't
doesn't
know.
utilize
It doesn't
it.
utilize it. And maybe there's
do
no
miss
point for it.
it. Now, you said this last night, and you're right. In Battlefront 1, they had the partner system, right? Which was nice if you could have more partners.
Yeah.
But you can spawn on your partner. Now, when you squad up in this game, it does always show your squad. It shows them in green and everybody else is blue or yellow, right? But it's coming from Battlefield. It's a bummer that you can't spawn on your squad. You know what I mean? It's like little nice little nuances like that.
They choose the spawn point for you, and maybe that's for balancing reasons. And so maybe squads. The only reason that it's a criticism at this point in my life is because I'm used to that system.
Yeah.
Battlefield 1. Maybe it's not needed here, and squads aren't a thing, and the limit of squads is just knowing where your friends are on the map.
But it is always nice to have that best squad pop up.
That is true. That is true.
That feels
But
good.
granted, there are other game modes that we did not play. This was just the big game mode. So perhaps that's a thing in those game modes, and then it'll be fun.
I have a so to answer your question, is it a buy for me? I think it's a little too soon for me to figure that out yet, because the first thing you get when you log in is loot crates.
Yeah.
And that could be a deal breaker for me depending on how they run, and I haven't been able to dive into it.
The rumor is that they've fixed it. The EA has said they have fixed it and listened to them, so we'll see if it plays out that way.
On the surface, it's fantastic.
It's trending upwards for you, though.
Yeah.
As a buy.
On the surface, I mean, just the dogfighting alone, I can see myself throwing on just some Pandora radio station, kicking back and pretending I'm Maverick listening to Top Gun.
So I will say this: Battlefront 1, when it came out, we all played it when it first came out, and then Jordan was pretty much the only guy that played it. That's not going to be the case with Battlefront 2. I think Battlefront 2 has staying power. We're going to do community plays with it. The only reason I say that is it speaks to, at this point, my first impressions, it speaks to that. Like, it's that good of a game. It's a Battlefield 1-esque quality of game. And Battlefield 1, you know how I feel about Battlefield 1. It's a game where you have those experiences.
Those moments.
You have those moments in Battlefront.
Yeah, I got to show you guys a recording I made. I mean, there's nothing like seeing a body fly across the map from an explosion.
Yeah.
Well, I was a sniper girl, and I got blown up by an AT-AT, and I went flying across the map, and that girl screamed. I felt bad.
That actually brings up a good point. I love that they added the class system. I think that was a smart move. And I did not know this actually, because I didn't notice this in the beta, but you can actually modify weapons you unlock. You can put different scopes and stuff like that on them. So I think
you like the customization.
I do like the customization, and I love the class
Very
system.
nice. PUBG had some news.
Yeah, so developer Bluehole is developing another game. So
PUBG publisher, sorry.
Yeah, so PlayerUnknown is not directly involved with this game, but I just think this is cool. And I mean, I don't think they said if this is coming to the Xbox or not. I hope so. So this is just hoping news, right? Because I saw the trailer for this game and it looks awesome.
Awesome.
They are making or help making a new game called what was it called? Infinite Air.
Okay.
And it's a steampunk MMORPG.
I think it's at Ascent Infinite Realm.
Oh. Are you sure?
Yeah. Ascent Infinite Realm is a steampunk MMORPG.
Oh. Then why does it say a beta for Infinite Air is being planned to launch? Anyway, whatever. I'll read it later. No, anyway.
I'm just reporting on it. I haven't read it up till now, so I'll read it later.
Anyway.
And
they have like a 4.
I'll read the news report later.
Yeah,
I'll just tell you what it says.
They have a 4 or 5 minute trailer that's really good. I mean, the game's pretty, right? It's a Korean MMO, so I don't know if it'll ever come over here, or I'm sure it will, but it looks super cool.
Yeah.
And I hope it comes to the Xbox.
Amen.
Honestly, I don't even care. This game just looks really cool.
Looks really good.
So I'm excited to play it, and I just wanted everybody to know. So.
I just wanted everybody to know. What's the game that we talked about last week? Skyforge.
Skyforge. That's actually out right now.
It's out.
I think. Yeah,
Are you going to be jumping into that?
So
you thought about it?
I was really excited, and then I actually found out it was free. Well, I think I mentioned it last week that it was free to play.
Yeah.
And I actually think I said I was a little. The free to play model for MMOs.
It becomes super grindy.
Unless you pay. It's just
unless you pay.
I prefer, and this is just me. I prefer paying money and then paying that monthly subscription. For an MMO model, I think that's the best.
But you enjoyed
it.
Neverwinter, didn't you?
I did. I don't play it
free?
anymore.
Oh well, there you go.
Enough
said.
The second model. Okay, so I think. In my opinion, I think Warcraft is the best model in EverQuest in those styles of games. You buy the game, you buy the expansions, and you pay a $15 or $10 for some of the game's monthly fee.
Okay.
And the reason I think that's the best is because
I think Guild Wars actually does it the best.
now
but
that's my second. So that's like
I don't want to
just
have to
notch
pay a
under-
monthly subscription. That's why I think Guild Wars does it the best. And I think the only game that will ever be able to do the monthly subscription successfully is World of Warcraft.
Well, there's only-
because of the
there's
numbers.
there's only 2 games that actually do it now. Is World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy, which the number 1 and number 2 MMOs are World
Eve
of Warcraft
Online.
and Final Fantasy.
Does Eve Online?
I think they have
do
a
it?
free-to-play
Did
model.
they just move? They did. They just moved to free to play because I've been thinking about jumping into that.
Mhm.
An accountant's MMO right there.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
But no, I really like Guild Wars' model, but I feel that you as a player get more out of the subscription-based model because I just feel like I mean, the developer's always making money, like, you know, and they're
Because
always
it forces you to play the game.
Well, yeah, but like you're always getting stuff in return. Like we're getting in World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy, you're getting patches all the time. You know, almost on a
it's-
monthly or but I mean, good content.
It's
patches,
supported
you know?
by more than 3 people.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They have customer service you can call.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's Skyforge. That is out this week. The Founders Packs are available,
Yeah, it
and
sounds like a good time.
I want to try it out. It does look like a fun time.
I know Creed and Eve in chat mentioned that he
Mhm.
has been playing it. Creed and Eve, sorry, not in chat. In the community, he has been mentioned he's been playing it and asked if we jump in. He highly recommends it.
Yeah, it
he
looks
really
like a fun
likes
one.
it. So
and
far,
you
so.
know me, I like myself a good MMO.
You do. I bet you. In fact, you like it so much. I saw you jumping into ESO this week.
Yeah. Do you know where I was actually playing it?
Where?
I was playing it on the computer.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, the PC version of ESO. Now,
No one knows because on the it just tells you that I'm playing.
What
ESO.
made you jump back into ESO?
I subscribed. So I jumped back into
See?
Warcraft.
That's why he likes his subscription, because it forces him to play games.
BlizzCon had their big announcement, and they did a bunch
It's
of
his
Warcraft
accountability partner.
stuff. Yeah. Anyway,
It is.
BlizzCon had its announcement, and they announced all their new Warcraft stuff, which me and my younger brother got really excited for.
Sure.
We jumped into Warcraft, and we did a few things, and we're like, we're already kind of done with Legion, which is the current expansion.
Sure.
And maybe we should we just wait for the next expansion and then just maybe kind of play another MMO. We can just kind of play it lightly just to get the fix.
Yeah.
And we jumped around between like Guild Wars 2, Skyforge, ESO, right? And we finally landed on ESO. And we were just jumping into that. We started new
How was
characters.
it?
We're
Did you
both
get
playing on the PC.
Player housing? You jump in by
No,
yourself,
not
a little
yet.
house?
Yeah. I'm
That's it?
just killing my little bugs out there, just trying to level up. You know.
Okay.
And I've actually never played an MMO like this before. Relaxing, you know. It's just been nice, you know. Like
You're not trying
I feel
to fly to power level.
I feel like I'm one of those lower level characters in Sword Art Online where I'm just like, I'm gonna go to town today and just see what they got.
You're
you know?
the-
Yeah.
You're the
Like I'm not
blacksmith?
I'm not
That's
the
just like-
advanced teams, you know what I mean? Whereas as usually I feel like I'm on the advanced team. Now I'm just like, I'll open a shop.
You're the
you know?
fisherman.
Yeah, that guy, right? And that's how I'm playing ESO here with my younger brother, and we're just having a good time.
Sword Art.
I
Online.
actually felt bad for the fisherman because he was just a tech guy. Remember his
Yeah.
backstory?
Yeah.
The fisherman in Sword Art Online I was just testing the computers. And now I'm screwed in this place. So he just fishes all day.
Now I just fish, and I'm gonna go for the world record fish holder
was
that
the-
turns into a
Yeah.
giant monster and eats us all.
He was like just the IT guy for the game. And he was just checking things out and he got screwed over, man.
Yeah.
But it's it's a good time, and
Destiny 2 news. I teased it a little bit
Mhm.
earlier in the show. Destiny 2 has got some big news. December 5th is the day that all of this is going to drop. But 4K HDR is coming to the
Destiny
Xbox
2.
One X, along with that December 5th date is also the drop of the Osiris expansion.
Yeah, the first expansion, Curse of Osiris.
Curse of Osiris, yes.
Which
and have
is-
you watched the trailer for
Yeah,
that? Have you watched the trailer for that,
it's
Mr.
dirty,
McSpicy?
man.
I have not.
Curse of Osiris. In fact, I believe
It's dirty.
Oh,
it's good, man.
it looks really good.
When you thought you were done with Destiny, you're just
It
like,
sucks you right.
Well, and you
back in.
bought the Ultimate Super Duper Edition, so you get it. You got this one.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, because you wanted that sword.
That's right. I wanted the freaking sword, so I spent $40 on a sword.
Yeah.
So so it comes 4K
Mhm.
HDR December 5th that drops with the Curse of Osiris DLC. What's so cool, if you haven't watched the trailer on this, go and watch it. The story behind, first of all, Osiris looks awesome. So Osiris was banished and is being brought back to help you guys because the Vex are back. And this is what
I
literally
hate the
this
Vex.
is what it says in the game release, that you will travel through time and space to fight the Vex. So that
Well, that's
right
how
there,
the Vex travels.
that gets me really excited because
Yeah.
are we going to go back in time and maybe see Earth before, like glimpses of during the battle
that
for
would be
Earth?
cool.
Are we going to go more into the future and see what the possibilities are endless? Not to mention, look at Osiris, dude.
Yeah, he's-
Look at dude.
What kind of when you deal with time, what kind of laws are we dealing with? You know,
who
like
knows?
Back to the Future laws, or are we dealing with like
well,
time cop
don't
I
the
think
Vex travel
Einstein
through
laws.
time and space? Like
Time-
that's how
time
they
cop-
legitimately
or
travel.
Terminator laws? Every time movie has different laws. I'm just curious what they're going to take. What direction
I
they're
think
going to take.
Osiris will have its own laws.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
He'll make them himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vex. Anyways, and you're on Mercury, and you're getting they're saying you're getting a new raid event for it. Not
Raid
necessarily
event.
not necessarily a new raid. And so a lot of people
What
online
does that mean?
That's a lot of people online think they're bringing back Vault of Glass in Destiny 2.
Okay.
See, when you said raid event, my initial thought was something like what was that one in the House of Wolves? The what was
Trials of Osiris?
No. That's what was it? Prison of Elders.
Oh,
remember
Prison
where it
of
was like
Elders,
a
yeah.
3-man hard dungeon type of thing, you know? That's what I thought when you said that.
Maybe that's the case, but that's I know a
Remastered Vault of Glass.
a very popular opinion is that Vault
Dude,
of Glass
I
is
remember
coming
when
back.
we all did Vault of Glass. It was a good time.
That was
I
fun.
actually
Vault of
never
Glass
did.
was
I
a
actually
fun
never
raid.
did Vault of Glass.
You
That
tried,
was just
didn't you?
guys. No, I never got to the level. For you,
Ooh.
Your
Remember
light
when we
level-
spent forever opening that stupid door?
Well, because we did it like day one,
Yeah.
and it took us.
And we were all like,
Everyone,
dude,
everyone makes fun of us on our because we posted it on YouTube. Everyone makes fun of us. The thing that they don't understand is it's day one. We're trying
Yeah,
to
like-
figure out the mechanics. It took us 6
They're
hours?
like, you guys are so stupid.
6 hours to open that freaking door.
yeah.
Because we are way
Because
under level.
we were on the advanced team. We were trying to figure it out.
exactly.
And we went in blind. I mean, we knew a few mechanics here and there, but
And just the chat. I don't think the chat was in the game, but I remember people were getting pissed.
Yeah.
It was because it gets frustrating.
it does. And then we got in.
And we did it, and then we all went to bed
Yeah.
after just
We
the
did complete
first-
it later, though. You know,
Yeah,
we
we
did
did.
come back later. And it was,
So
it
yeah,
was a good
Vault
time.
of Glass coming back. You're on Mercury again, back as an official destination. It's very exciting. And 4K HDR. It's a lot of big reasons to jump back into Destiny 2 if you've stepped away for a while. I think, doesn't it feel like Destiny has just matured so much in their
Everything.
marketing, not just their plan going
They
forward.
restructured.
They restructured.
Yeah,
They
just like the
restructured,
First
right?
Order.
Just like the Empire.
They
Just like the
literally came
Empire.
from the ashes of the first.
Besides, I know some people are complaining about the way that Prestige mode or Prestige works in Raid.
the
Prestige
higher end
Raid.
raids. Yeah.
But you are increasing.
David.
Yes. Yes.
I don't think you ever mentioned this, but you actually completed the
I-
raid. Of
I actually
Destiny. David,
mentioned-
he's
I-
the first one to complete it out of all of us.
I did
Yeah.
mention it.
Oh, you did?
I mentioned.
I must
it
not
like
been
3
paying
podcasts ago.
attention.
You, I don't think you
Yeah.
were. No one listens to me on this show.
Well, I mean,
didn't
when-
Did you like it?
when you
Did
say
you-
the stuff that you say, can you blame us?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I tune out.
I
I
mean,
just tune
my
out.
dogs don't listen to me. My wife doesn't listen to me. Who listens to me? Nobody listens
Uh.
to me. No, I did complete it. I completed it with our clan, with the
Yeah.
clans. Super fun time. They dragged me through it because I'm so low level, but it's really fun. I like this Destiny. And last but not least, the biggest news story of the week for you, Jordan,
Well, not the biggest one. It's just in
but
there.
a really cool one.
Yeah, it's really cool. So, well, first of all, like we all know, the Xbox One X is out. And if you want to know how many enhanced titles there are, you can go to Major Nelson blog. He keeps it up to date on the updates that are available. Enhanced titles. There's a good list of them.
Cool.
It's awesome. But if you really want to test out your TV and make sure the 4K is running good and all that good stuff, there's actually a new app that was released this week called Insects.
Yes.
It's actually kind of funny. But Mark was able to try it out.
Yeah.
And
it's
I
super
tried
cool.
it. It really is cool. You can.
It's interesting.
It's a free app.
It's a free app that was originally given to developers to show the capabilities of what the Xbox One X can do. So it's kind of like a demo thing. But it's what it does is you can turn on and off 4K and HDR and Dolby Audio.
Mhm.
And so you can hear and see visually what the upgrade looks like. And it's a really good way to show like your wife or
Yeah.
somebody, this is why we got this TV. this is why we got this Xbox.
Now, keep in mind, you can't do it on. I mean, you can use the app on a 1080p TV, but it won't really do much. This is for 4K
Well,
HDR TVs.
It won't do anything at all because it will show you if it's enabled or not. Because you press the Y button to change from HDR on and off, and if you don't have HDR, obviously, it'll be permanently
and
off.
the resolution, obviously, you have to have the 4K and stuff like that.
It's called what's the name of it?
Insects. Free app. If you have the Xbox One X, I mean, just download. It's just a fun little experience, so you yourself can actually see like, oh wow, like this box is.
Yeah.
You know.
On that point, they also have, and Ronan mentioned this in chat. In fact, he's the guy that turned me on to this. The Dolby Atmos showcase and the Dolby Atmos feature that you can set on your headset. Go watch those showcase videos. It takes sound to a whole new level. It will blow your mind.
Oh yeah,
like every detail of every single thing that's happening in a space can be heard.
I find it I mean, Dolby, I don't know what's going on with Dolby, but they're like turning on their let's make money phase of their careers because that costs money. If you can try it out for 30 days.
30 days for free, and then it's $15 for a lifetime license.
For a lifetime license. I do a lot with Adobe, and this is not podcast related, but I do a lot with Adobe, the suite for my work, and Adobe just they basically took out of their package deal all the Dolby stuff.
Sure.
So, and I'm guessing the bean counters at Adobe were like, we don't want to pay for this because I think Adobe is charging people for their licensing.
Oh,
and
of
stuff like
course,
that.
yeah.
So keep that in mind that this is a feature that you have to pay for sound. It seems like, in my opinion, I feel like it should. I don't know, but $15 isn't that much for life, but it is something. But it sounds really good. You can try it for 30 days.
Yeah.
But keep that in mind. That
it is nice. And I'm sure that's what happened. Maybe it's just a new business model where instead of these corporations, Blu-ray players, theater controls, paying for the licenses, you as an individual on the Xbox pay for that. Instead of Microsoft buying the license lifetime, you pay for it, $15. I will get it. Right. I don't know if I should wait to get nicer headphones
I think that's
in order
what I'm
to
gonna
purchase
do.
it, or
I'm gonna get
what
myself
the
a good
deal.
pair.
But go just like the Insects demo. Go and check out the Dolby Atmos because it shows you what sound can do and where they're taking sound. It's amazing.
Well, there are TVs or sound bars now that have the Dolby Atmos feature on it as well, so you can get sound specifically made for that. And the Xbox
feature.
X supplies it, and all. Is that available anywhere else? Like, is it on the S or is it on the standard Xbox?
I think it's strictly Xbox One X, and it must use CPU power in a specific way. I wonder, or something.
Well, I mean, it sounds really good. Like they do a demo where a baseball flies through a window, and you can seriously, with just my Turtle Beach headset, I can hear different pieces of glass in different locations smashing around me.
Yeah,
it's fascinating. It sounds
on a stereo headset. Not
it's
even a
super.
headset.
It's super cool.
Yeah, very cool. I just wanted to say, EMT Steve in chat. Where did he put it? He said, I used this insect demo that George's talking about to show my wife why the Xbox One X was a great purchase. And I think that's a great demo to do because it really does. It shows the difference, especially if you have a 4K HDR TV.
Yeah,
that's where that's gonna show up. And that brings us to this part of our show.
Ooh, I love that sound.
There it is. Do you know what sound that is? That's the discussion part of our show where we discuss things.
Oh,
that's right. we discuss things. This portion of our show is brought to you by iTunes. If you want to help grow the community, please go rate, like us, subscribe to us over on iTunes. The more you like us, the more you subscribe to us, the higher you rate us over on iTunes. They're the big boys. It helps us jump up in the charts and helps everybody find this positive gaming community. Isaac Larson writes in and asks, and these are questions by Facebook every Friday on Facebook, which we hit 17,000 followers today.
Nice. All right.
Today?
Today. Oh. 17,000. Wait, do I have a clap? There it is. 17,000 followers.
Right.
That's right, baby. There it is. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Isaac Larson writes in on that Facebook post that I'm talking about, where every Friday you can post a question and we'll answer it. He says, what type of first-party games should Phil Spencer be developing? I get what he means. Where should he or Microsoft focus their resources now that the X1X is out? Great question, Isaac. I love it. What type of
are we talking about genres
games,
or
genres,
type of developers
games? What do you want to see on the Xbox One X? What do you think is needed on the Xbox One X? Can I go first?
This is a hard question.
Can I go first?
Yeah.
I really want to see an action adventure story driven game. I know that we've done it with Quantum Break, but Quantum Break really had an Alan Wake feel to it. Same publishers.
Yeah.
I want a Naughty Dog story.
I thought you were
feel.
gonna say I want a naughty Quantum Break.
Who doesn't?
I just want it dirty and naughty and everything just in there.
And I think Ronan makes a great point in chat too. He says he thinks people would lose their minds if Microsoft acquired a JRPG developer. Yeah, acquire a good solid JRPG is a great genre as
That's
well.
my other
I feel like we need an RPG, action adventure RPG to really sink our teeth into. That's an exclusive and create a new set of characters to get behind.
Yeah.
New icons. That's my 2 cents, Mr. McSpicy. What about you? What type of games? What type of developers? It's hard to say because genres that haven't been invented yet. That's what I want.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just think of like classics that I like, and I've mentioned this. I feel bad because I mentioned this game recently every week for the last 4 weeks because it became a backwards compatible game. I want Microsoft to do create like a Team Ninja and create like a good old fashioned Ninja Gaiden single player, very tough game.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, there's lots. I don't know. It's hard because I like video games. I just want everything. I don't know how to answer that other than just the ones I like.
Aragorn in chat says sports RPG for David. That would be cool. Well, they're kind of trying to do that with the Maddens and stuff. But on that note, what would be cool to come is if they brought it to the PSP, like Football Manager. They had NFL Manager that they tried on the OG Xbox. That I believe Jordan, you purchased that way back when.
Head
if I
coach
remember the
thing?
head coach game. But those types of games would be fun too. Those like managerial type of games. I don't know if that's an exclusive that's going to sell necessarily, but I just want Crusader Kings. Bring Crusader Kings to the desktop. To the console.
Somehow make it a little bit more. I don't know. There's a lot of games that exist that I don't know about, and
mainstream. Bring marketing to it. Awareness.
Crusader Kings is a really great game. I did not know about that game until you told me about it.
Yeah, I love Crusader Kings. That's that's one of my favorite developer studios.
Yeah, I agree. I also think, I mean, if we can get some sort of Naughty Dog, like you were saying, that would be. That is why Naughty Dog is basically why I have my PlayStation. That's how I feel. Naughty Dog is why I have my PlayStation, amongst a couple splices in there, but they are so good.
It's that good.
Yeah, they're a great developer.
Oh, also, go get yourself a baseball game, please, especially after this year's World Series, which was so good and made me want to go buy a baseball game and play it, and I had no options. I had like Mega Baseball, Mega Man Baseball, or whatever.
Hey, that might be a good idea.
It might not be bad. There you go. What about you, Jordan? What type of game? What do you want to see come? Genre? First-person party exclusive that Xbox should go after?
I think they really have most things covered with the exception of role-playing games, right? Like single-player role-playing games. Because you got your shooters covered. You got Gears of War. You got Crackdown. You got Halo.
That's a good one.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got shooters covered. You got
an exclusive RPG that's good.
You got
you
got
sell
racing
consoles.
covered. You got racing covered with Forza, right? I mean, and then essentially you have sports covered because of EA, right?
You deal with EA.
But I think the only thing they don't have, and I think why Scalebound was so exciting and a big disappointment, is because it was role-playing single-player game being different. I think they're doing great things with like Cuphead, right? I mean, that's more of a Microsoft exclusive because it's on the PC.
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves, I think that's the route you need to take because it's different.
Yeah.
Well,
you know
those will be.
I mean, Sea of Thieves, you can say is first person. It has first person elements, but it's different. You know what I mean? I think throwing in like a heavy, almost KOTOR like RPG into that mix with Sea of Thieves and Cuphead and stuff.
Ronan in chat basically agrees with our sentiment here. He says, I want more single-player blockbusters like Sony has, i.e. Persona, Uncharted, The Last of Us. And I think that's kind of what we're saying. Maybe that's what's lacking in the library. I mean, they tried to do it with Quantum Break. It just wasn't to that same
I actually like that game.
I
level.
enjoyed it too.
I really liked it. It reminded me of the old Matrix game.
But is it in the same league? as an
well,
Uncharted? Or as a
story-wise-
Last of
But I
Us?
mean, like, yeah, but
Story-wise, I don't think it's in the same gameplay-wise, I think it's fantastic
Yeah.
because of the time stuff you can do.
Speaking of that, is that an
the time
Xbox
stuff-
enhanced already?
I think it's coming.
Okay.
the
Let me
time
go to Major
stuff
Nelson
and,
and I will check.
like,
for it.
there's a game called Advent Rising that it's one of my favorite OG Xbox games, and you build on powers and you become like seriously very overpowered. And I think Quantum Break did a really good job at that.
Yeah.
You built your powers up, and if you play you could just destroy a room with time. And I thought that was a good one. I would say that Last of Us is a much better game, but that's just because The Last of Us is one of the best games ever made, in my opinion. It's just the story wise, plot wise. I don't know if you can get the quality of The Last of Us in an RPG, like Jordan is saying. I agree with that. That'll sell consoles like hotcakes.
Like a Zelda. I mean, that's what Zelda had, a single
See,
player.
and see, I don't care what, like, I don't care if it's super serious like The Last of Us, or I mean more colorful and bright like Zelda. I mean, just it's
a world to dive into.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Huh. Interesting. It's interesting that we have the same sentiment. Like, we might not be...
Well, I think that's really your gap is the RPG.
It's true.
'cause you honestly have the other stuff, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, no, that's I think that's illustrated where the weakness is in their library. Anyways, great. Blah, I can't talk right now. What is going on? It's that time. It's too late. It's late. It's past my bedtime.
End this then.
Isaac Larson, great question. Thank you so much for
I
writing that in.
apologize. Quantum Break is enhanced as of this moment.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
What
is
does it
enhanced
have?
right
What
now.
does it say? What it has?
I don't think they boosted up to 4K, but they basically the game runs a lot smoother and the resolution is higher, and I think they did a lot of fidelity increases.
Okay, so it's like 3K.
Yeah, let's go
It's
with
like
that.
3K. Maybe I should. You guys make me want to jump back into
Quantum Break was a
I
good
made
one.
it to like chapter 4.
I went through the whole story. I watched the episodes. I made the decisions. I really enjoyed that game.
Oh, maybe
I
I'll
thought it
jump
was a
back
good
into
one.
that.
It was a good one to.
That is a good
Yeah.
one. Kenny,
What's so cool is I thought I was the only one that played Advent Rising. A lot of people in chat remember that game. I hope they bring that back to backwards compatibility. That story and gameplay was really fun. It was a fun game. I have to throw in that. I'm glad that there's some OG Advent Rising players out there.
there you go.
Go ahead.
Scott
say this.
Carpenter, aka Scottman, writes in and says, oh, sorry, I read that one. We already went over that. He wanted us to talk about Bungie, Destiny 2. He's super stoked about it. I'm super stoked about it too. If you've not seen the trailer yet for Destiny, please go check that out. Looks really good. Peter Sonnen writes in and says, Super Lucky Tales came out and it isn't getting great reviews. I'm sad. Why is this? Why isn't it getting great reviews? I don't know if you guys have had a chance to watch anybody play Super Lucky Tales, if you watched any of the reviews. I was really excited about this game, and so I was watching all the reviews, all the people that I trust on YouTube, then some people that I don't trust, just to see what they were saying. And I noticed a common thread. This was the thread, because it is getting
Mixed reviews.
It's getting mixed. I mean, it's getting like 5s in some places. The places that are giving it 5s also gave the original Titanfall a 5. So put that.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
just
you know
put
who
that
I'm talking
perspective.
about. It's that
Yeah.
same place. Anyways, I've noticed this. The YouTube reviewers, or the reviewers the gamers, the real gaming reviewers that I watch who have not experienced Mario Odyssey, give Super Lucky Tale very favorable reviews.
You think it's coming out against a juggernaut?
If they have played Mario Odyssey, Super Lucky Tale sucks balls. Like, this is the theme that I'm noticing, and so I think it's a case of it came
it's being
out.
compared.
It's a single player 3D platformer coming out against what's being called
The
one
king.
of the greatest Marios of all time. Like
Yeah.
that, I mean, up there with Zelda. Nintendo is nailing it this generation. I mean, with the Switch.
Dude,
with their
Nintendo just
quality of
does that.
games.
They just come out and they're like, well, what if we make a good game this year? I'm not even kidding. They just do it.
You know what? I'm sick of sucking. Let's just do this.
Let's just.
Well,
we had
look-
4 years off.
The Wii dominated, and then they're like, let's take a break. Let's put out the Wii U. Let's pull back a little. And then they're like, okay, the Switch.
And so what I'm saying, what I'm trying to
Because they
say.
hired the cowboy guy.
Yeah. So regarding Peter, regarding Super Lucky Tales, what I'm trying to say is I think it's a decent game. I think it's a 7 and above from what I can gather. Now, I've not played it, so I can't speak with authority to that. But I think the problem is it's coming out not just against a really good game. in its genre. It's coming out against what's being called the greatest Mario ever. Like, and
Which
that is a huge
Mario
statement,
himself
sentiment.
is already a big guy.
Yeah. And so I just think
Actually,
it's bad timing.
He's only like 3 feet
Yeah,
tall.
actually, he's not in comparison to our world. He's actually
Yeah.
a very small guy.
It's like going to.
But he does get mushrooms and get bigger.
It's like going
So it
to.
depends on his mood.
Being with the Amazons, where Wonder Woman came from, right?
Okay, I'm already interested. Yeah.
And you're dating the ugliest chick on the island, right?
I see where you're going
Yeah.
with this.
It's not bad.
Well, no, it
No,
is.
no.
Oh, it is?
In,
Oh,
in
is
this
it?
case, you're like,
In this case, it is.
dang
But
it.
then you take her because you're comparing her.
and then you
Oh,
hop
yeah.
on that
ones.
boat.
You hop on that boat and you take her to Real World 101, and she is a bombshell,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah,
I think
okay.
that's what's happened to Super Lucky Tales.
You just,
It's the ugliest girl on the Amazon island.
that's
Like, it's
actually
still-
that's
it's
actually
still a
probably
decent
a
game.
great way to compare it. Yeah,
Still
that's
a
actually-
decent game, but Mario's there.
Yeah,
Mario Odyssey is there. Right?
Yeah.
being that's huge, man. I've yet to play Mario Odyssey, but being called the best Mario
A lot
game,
of people, I mean, raving reviews.
because there was some good Mario. Even one was mentioned in chat. Super Mario Galaxy was a fantastic. Sunshine is my personal favorite. Super Mario Sunshine.
Zelda. It's being compared up there with the Zeldas, with the latest Zelda from this year,
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild, yeah.
Oh, well, dang it. I'm going to have to buy that game now.
Anyways, but that's why. So I think it's a decent game. I think it's just people are comparing it, not unfairly necessarily. I mean, it is in the same genre. I think
Yeah,
it is fair to compare it. But on its all things being equal, nothing else in your. If you just had it by itself, I think it is a decent game, and it does look good. I hope they'd make another one. I think it might be a case of it's a great starting point. This can really evolve into something. So there you go. Great question, Peter. But I included that because I've noticed that theme because I was really disappointed in the first couple reviews that I saw, and I was like, oh man,
And you did some research.
man. And then I'm looking and I'm watching other people, and then people are saying, I really like this game. Go get it. I really like this game. And I noticed that it was depending
If you played Mario,
if you
Odyssey.
played Mario, and
If you
everybody
live
that
on
did
that Amazon island,
compared it in their review to it. So it's really interesting. But
Amazonia.
Ryan Cage said, so is David saying that people would like Lucky if they had never seen any other video game ever?
That's funny.
That is funny. That is. No, that's not what I'm saying. But anyways, next question. Oh, well, PSAs. These are the last two. We got PSAs coming, public service announcements for everybody who has got an Xbox One X and a 4K TV, or who is in the process of buying an Xbox One X and a 4K TV. This comes from Mr. Barber, Ryan Barber, and Dustin Friedus, a.k.a. Madshot. He says, with the Xbox One X, make sure your TV settings have 4K and HDR activated, as many do not out of the box, even if they're capable of it. For example, our LG 4K needs HDMI Ultra HD Deep Color turned on for it to work.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on
I
the TCL, we had to enable HDMI 2.0 in the
yeah,
in the
if you
settings.
set it to auto, I don't know if you experience this, but I have. Sometimes the Xbox it'll automatically go to HDMI 1.0 if you have it set to auto. So we have to specifically set it and force it to always
He's right.
at 2.0.
He's right. That's a good.
Yeah, so
that's
that's actually a good tip.
great tip. The pro tip.
Pro tip of the day. Second pro tip of the day comes from Mr. Barber in the same vein. He says, I had my Xbox One X hooked up to HDMI port 1 on the back of my TV. Turned out port 1 did not support 4K HDR. It was ports 2 and 3. Once you figure it out, everything worked
Wouldn't
out.
you
So
think
make sure
the first port would be the
Yeah.
big boy
the
port?
highest one. Yeah, you'd think, right?
Yeah.
I can see that as
Well,
well.
at that point, why didn't they just go?
Let's put it in.
Yeah.
Let's just
'cause
solder
I-
this.
At
let's solder
that
this
point, I
water.
feel like the sense at the amount of they're making these, right? Are you saving that much money not putting one port?
Well-
I mean, are you?
You probably are making enough to buy a really nice pair of sneakers.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
You know, and maybe he wanted sneakers that
Yeah.
day.
No, yeah, be sure. Well, and what's really nice is actually Major Nelson came out with a video basically saying, hey, if you want to really make sure that your Xbox One X is doing what it's supposed to, go to the settings, your display settings, and there's actually a nice little checklist that checks off everything for you. If you're here in America, there's going to be one that's not check marked, but you don't need to worry about that. If you live in Europe, that's the one you'll want check marked.
The 50 hertz.
Yeah. But and it's actually, you can go down the list and you can basically see why it's not check marked and how to enable it. And it's
Yeah.
really nice.
Absolutely. And that does it for us week. The Xbox One X has arrived, everybody. It's an exciting time. It's a great time to be a gamer. If you haven't, please come join us over on Discord. Check out our streams over on Mixer. Every day we're streaming. In fact, right after the show, Battlefront 2. So stick around, everybody in chat. We are going to be doing Battlefront 2 immediately after this. It's Mr. McSpicy, where can people find you? What will you be up to this week?
I'm on Twitter. I'll be at Mr. McSpicy. My gamer tag is Mr. McSpicy. I will be playing some more Assassin's Creed. I might be buying Mario Odyssey after what you said. So that's where you'll find me.
Jordan, how about you?
I will be playing more Assassin's Creed, and I feel like I'm going to be playing a lot of Battlefront. And I'm Jordan the Manix. Will be everywhere.
Yeah, I, of course, will be in Minecraft. I will be in Forza. Don't forget, we do have a Minecraft realm. Stuff is happening. We've got a town hall. We've got a city center. It's winter. We're starting to make it a winter wonderland. Christmas lights, some ice rinks. Who knows? Come join us. If you want to join us, be in Discord and shoot me a message, and you'll get in. Have a great week, guys.